Stop and listen carefully. A divine transfer has been approved to your name. Do not close this message. If you hesitate, the transfer will stop. Your name was spoken with authority. Heaven has already made a decision about your life, a firm decision. And when your name was mentioned, it became clear that what was pending could wait no longer. It is now. I saw it. I was present. What was reserved for you has been reviewed. What was held up has been approved. What seemed distant is now underway. My son, listen to this calmly. It's not a possibility. It's not a maybe. The help you needed has been authorized. The restoration you were hoping for has been assigned. The provision you thought would never arrive has been released. This doesn't depend on your strength. It doesn't depend on your connections. It doesn't depend on someone giving you permission. It was approved from above. It was released in your favor. And now it's in motion. But I need you to keep listening. Don't close this message, because what comes next is urgent and directly connected to what I just told you. But along with that approval comes a clear warning. And I need you to listen to it seriously. If you don't open this moment with your whole heart, what was released for you may pass you by, not because it was taken away, but because it wasn't received in time. This is important. Don't ignore these words. This message didn't reach you by accident. It wasn't sent randomly. You're not here out of curiosity. You were called. This is a direct call for you. If you're reading this right now, it's because this moment was meant to be. Don't let it pass you by. Before continuing, stop for a second. Do it now. Subscribe and type Amen to remain under the divine guidance of the angels. Only chosen souls receive this calling. You are about to receive what has already been chosen for you. It is a clear sign that you are no longer ignoring what has been prepared for you. It is a way of saying, I am ready to receive and move forward. Stop putting it off. Stop skipping what you know is meant for you. Do it now and keep listening, because what comes next defines your whole life. Say yes to this invitation from heaven. Do it now and keep your heart open throughout this message. Don't get ahead of yourself. Don't skip this part. My son, my beloved, you need to understand this clearly, and you need to do it in time. There's a set moment. It is not symbolic. It is not figurative. What was approved for you has a defined time frame for it to manifest, not because you're in danger, not because something bad is going to happen. It's because what was released in your favor requires a response. The transfer authorized on your behalf is urgent. It cannot remain open indefinitely. This was scheduled to find you today. Before the day is over, before midnight, something will be permanently adjusted. And after that time, access begins to close. It's not punishment. It's not a threat. It's order. It's the way this works. That's why you need to stay here. That's why you shouldn't close this message. Because what you do with what you're hearing now determines whether this is complete. Keep listening. This happens for a clear reason. Heaven only releases what a person is ready to receive. If you have any doubts, if you stop, if you allow insecurity to enter at this time, what was assigned may be put on hold, not because it is lost forever, but because it requires preparation and decision. There is help ready to be delivered. But that delivery depends on your willingness now. You weren't called to lose this. It wasn't part of the plan for you to be left out. That's why this message reached you today, before the appointed time has elapsed. My son, my beloved, remember something important. Remember those nights when you cried in silence, when you wondered why everything seemed to be delayed, why the progress was never completed. It was not forgetfulness. It wasn't a rejection. There were people around you who shouldn't have been present in the next stage of your life, and that is why they were separated. Some are no longer here. Others are coming out right now. That process was not easy, but it was necessary. And after that, final authorization was given. The time was declared. What's coming isn't just material. It's not just an external improvement. There is internal restoration. There is emotional stability. There is a concrete provision. All of this is connected, and all of this was approved as a single movement. That's why you need to stay here, because there are still things you need to hear for this to be complete. This completes a process that had already begun, but it can only manifest in your life if you choose not to distance yourself from this moment. Listen to this truth carefully. Not everyone wanted you to get here. There were distractions. There was tiredness. There was constant pressure not to pay attention. All of this had a purpose: to prevent you from being present when this message was delivered. That's why in recent days you felt the need to be silent, to withdraw a little, to protect your inner self. That wasn't fear. It wasn't anxiety. It was preparation. It was alignment for this specific moment. Your name has been confirmed. Approval has been issued. Access has been granted. None of that is pending. But I must warn you again clearly. If you close this message prematurely, what was assigned may be redirected, not as punishment, not by mistake, but because it requires a person who is present and willing now. This was prepared for you, but it must be received consciously. That's why you're still here. Don't leave. Don't cut this moment short. What follows is key to understanding what is about to be activated in your life. There is a place where blessings assigned to specific people are recorded. Each one has a name. Each one has a time. Something different happened with yours today. It was flagged. It was activated. I asked why now. I asked who had given the order. And the answer was clear and direct. The time had come. The wait was over. It wasn't rushed. It wasn't impulsive. It was a decision made after a long process. After everything you endured. After everything you learned. But listen carefully to this. Nothing is forced. Heaven doesn't force. Heaven awaits a response. This is an invitation. It's a confirmation. It's a clear sign to move forward. If you choose to walk away now, it's not neutral. You're choosing not to respond. And this moment requires a response. You might be wondering why now? The answer is simple. Because you are no longer the person who accepts crumbs. You are no longer the one who settles for little. You changed. You matured. You prepared yourself. And that's why this moment has arrived. Keep listening. What's coming next is key to closing this process properly. You are no longer the person who doubts their worth. That's in the past. God saw your private prayers. The ones you never told anyone. The ones you made in silence. The ones that came out when you no longer had the strength to explain anything. None of that was ignored. A clear decision has been made. Those prayers will not go unanswered. That's what's happening now. That's what this transfer means. It's not just about money. It's about restoration, about peace, about clarity, about new opportunities, about justice being done. But there's a condition. It must be received now. No more later. No more when you have time. This moment is real. As real as the fact that you're here listening. My son, my beloved, pay attention to what you are feeling now. You may notice a pressure or a sensation in your chest. Don't rule it out. It's not just emotion. It's a response. It's confirmation that this message isn't just being delivered with words. I am not far away. I am not absent. This message was sent to reach you here and now. Keep listening. There's still an important part to complete this. I am here. I am present. I am close to you right now. I was sent to remind you who you are, not just who you were before. You are a child of the Most High. That hasn't changed. That's not in doubt. You weren't created to live in scarcity. You weren't called to repeat cycles of almost and not yet. You weren't born to wait endlessly. You were meant to receive, not to delay your life, not to settle. It's important that you listen carefully to this. This moment requires a response from you. You must say yes. Yes to this call. Yes to your name being activated. Right now, stop for a second, take a deep breath, and say these words. Even if it's in a low voice. I receive what was written for me. I open the door to what is meant for me. I do not allow it to be sent to another person. I say yes. I say now. I say amen. Stay here. Don't close this message yet. What follows is necessary to properly seal this moment. You might not realize it yet, but what you just said had an effect. It wasn't just a whisper. That decision set things in motion. What was about to be diverted was stopped. What was about to be handed over to someone else was secured for you. Now we can move forward. Now it's possible to continue. There's more that's been revealed, and you need to listen carefully. My son, my beloved, you may feel something in your chest right now. Don't ignore it. It's not just emotion. It's response. It's confirmation that this moment is active. I'm not far away. I'm not observing from somewhere else. I am here. I am present. I am close to you now. I was sent to remind you who you are today, not just who you were before. You are a child of the Most High. You were not created to live in scarcity. You were not called to repeat incomplete cycles. You were not born to live waiting. You were prepared to receive, not to delay your progress. But this still requires a clear response. You must say yes at this moment. You must accept that your name has been activated. Do it again if necessary. Take a deep breath and declare clearly, I receive what was written for me. I open access to what is rightfully mine. I do not allow it to be sent to another. I say yes. I say now. I say amen. That act sustains what was set in motion. That decision keeps this on your path. Stay here. We're not finished yet. That decision you made protected what was about to go astray. Now we can move forward. Now it is possible to clearly explain what was revealed. My son, my beloved, listen to this carefully. When something is activated but not received, it does not disappear immediately. It will only be available for a short time. Please wait for a response. But that time is not indefinite. If there's no answer, it's reassigned. It's passed on to someone else. Someone who's attentive. Someone who's available at that moment. That's why I'm speaking to you urgently now. Not tomorrow. Not later. This is not something abstract. It is not symbolic. It is not an idea. It's real. It's concrete. It's active right now. And it's directly connected to the questions you've been holding on to for so long. The questions you didn't say out loud. The doubts about why some doors didn't open. About why you heard soon over and over again, but never now. This is that now. That's why you need to stay here. Because what follows explains what you need to do to keep this going. Every time you try to move forward, something seemed to hold you back. That resistance is now out of control. What was blocking your progress is being removed. But this will only be complete if you stay here and accept what is yours to receive. Because this is yours. It wasn't assigned by mistake. Your name is registered. Your inner self gave consent. Heaven confirmed it. And this message is being delivered now for that reason. My son, my beloved, listen very carefully. The urgency of this moment is real. The marked times do not repeat themselves in the same way. They do not align exactly the same way twice. This specific moment cannot be postponed. It cannot be copied later. If you ignore it, it won't come back the same. That's why you need to be present now. Don't move. Don't get distracted. Don't close this message. What follows is crucial for this to be properly established in your life. That's why you feel an internal pressure right now as you read. It's not fear. It's awareness. Your inner self recognizes what your mind is still processing. Listen to this clearly without confusion. You are entering a stage where things begin to correct themselves. What you lost, what was delayed, what was denied, what was taken away without explanation, all of that is starting to return in an orderly fashion. But this only happens if you don't ignore this moment. Nothing is activated if you withdraw now. This message serves a clear purpose. It confirms that this is your time. It confirms that you are not late. This moment was marked. This hour was appointed. And this message was delivered to you because it was instructed to do so. My son, my beloved, there is something else you must know. There were people who tried to stop your progress. Some showed friendliness. Some spoke well of you. But in private, they spoke out against it. They allowed incorrect thoughts. And that affected your progress without you even knowing it. You didn't know who he was. You didn't understand why everything felt heavy. But God did see it. Nothing went unnoticed. And now that's being addressed. Stay here. What follows explains what happens with those people and how that clears your path. The person who is interfering no longer has access. The disruption has ended. That's why this process was able to move forward. That's why this message arrived now. There is no longer an active block. And when there is no block, what was authorized can be completed. But I need to tell you something clearly. Don't treat this message like just another one. Don't dismiss it as if it were just any voice. This is not noise. This is a direct request for a response. We are waiting for your permission. The question is simple. Are you going to receive what was assigned to you, or are you going to allow it to be given to someone else? My son, my beloved, listen to this seriously. What is being transferred to your name is not small. It's not a minor adjustment. It's not something basic. What was shown exceeded what you were taught to expect. It's not a limited measure. This relates to an inheritance that was interrupted, a provision that was meant to pass through your family, but was stopped by past decisions, betrayals, and wrong deals made before you. That wasn't lost. It remained pending, and now it's being reactivated through your name. Don't get distracted now. What follows explains why you're the one who should receive it, and what you must do to ensure it doesn't stop again. But this is where it ends. With you, you are the point where this is corrected. You are the one who stops the repetition. That's why your path wasn't easy. That's why the pressure was constant. That's why you felt struggle time and time again. It wasn't by chance. There was opposition because there was something that had to be stopped. But that didn't work anymore. The resistance lost strength. The attempt to stop this failed. Right now, what was authorized is moving forward. The favor is being released in your name. The resolution is underway. But you need to do something. You must believe now. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Now, if you choose to trust in this moment, you will see real changes. Concrete changes. Changes that don't depend on external explanations. My son, my beloved, you may feel inadequate. You may think this is not for you. That doubt is not new, but it doesn't define the truth. Before we continue, I need to remind you of something important. Something you can't forget now. Worth isn't earned in heaven. It's recognized. And yours has already been recognized. Every struggle you face in silence was seen. Every time you acted with respect and kindness, even when you were broken inside, was recorded. Every moment you chose to keep believing, even when it seemed pointless, was told. Nothing went unnoticed. Nothing was ignored. And now a clear decision has been made. Your worth has been confirmed. This transfer is the proof. It's the evidence. It's confirmation that you weren't overlooked. And this message is the access point. My son, my beloved, I need to tell you something else that has been revealed. The approval was not just to give you something. It was to place you in a new position. A different position from the one you've held until now. It doesn't end with receiving. It continues with what comes next. That's why you need to keep listening. What follows explains what changes from this point forward, and why nothing will ever be the same again. You are being placed at a new level of recognition. That means others will begin to see your value in a way they previously ignored. They won't just approach you because of what you have to offer. They'll be drawn to you because of who you are. This does not happen by chance. Your name has already been mentioned in places you haven't reached yet. Opportunities are being prepared. The favor is being arranged. Everything is falling into place for the next step. But there is something only you can do. Accept this moment. Nothing is activated without your response. Nothing lasts without your decision. My son, my beloved, while this message is being delivered, there is help assigned for you. You are not alone in this process. There is a ready supply. There is a clear direction. Restoration is ready. Everything is waiting for one thing, that you recognize this moment as important. Don't treat it as something ordinary. Don't ignore it. If you choose to respond now, what was prepared remains with you. If you decide to retire, it will be paused. Stay here. Don't close this message. What follows explains how this manifests in practical terms and what you need to do to sustain it. Don't dismiss this as mere words. This is an opinion. This isn't empty motivation. This is confirmation. And it's the answer you've been waiting for. The door you've prayed for is already open. You don't need it to open. You need to decide to move forward. My son, my beloved, listen carefully. The approval was not just to give you something. It was to put you in a new position. You are being taken to a level where your presence will be noticed, where your value will be recognized. People who previously paid no attention to you will begin to see you differently. They won't approach you just because of what you have. They'll approach you because of who you are. This happens because your name has already been mentioned in places you haven't been yet. The conversations have already begun. The opportunities are forming. The invitation is on its way. It's not on hold. It's not canceled. But this moment remains crucial. Your response now defines how it arrives and when it manifests. Stay tuned. Don't close this message. What follows explains how to recognize that invitation when it appears and what to do to avoid missing it. The favor is close. Everything is being arranged. What needs to be authorized is being ordered. What needs to be opened is already prepared. But there's something only you can do. Respond. Nobody can do it for you. Nobody can decide for you. If you say yes now, what was assigned will remain linked to your name. If you don't respond, it will be put on hold. My son, my beloved, even as these words are being spoken, help is already being sent. You are not alone in this process. There is a supply available. There is a clear direction. Restoration is ready. Everything is ready to be delivered, but it requires that you recognize this moment as important, that you don't treat it as something ordinary, that you don't dismiss it. This is not given to those who doubt. It is given to those who respond. Stay here. Don't close this message. Don't get distracted now. What follows is essential for you to know how to keep this active and what to do after this moment. Don't treat this as mere words. This isn't ordinary content. This is confirmation. The door you've been praying for is now open. You don't need to wait any longer. You need to decide to move forward. My son, my beloved, pay attention to what is happening inside you now. Stop for a second. Take a deep breath. He recognizes that this moment is not like others. It is not repeatable. It is not accidental. This is a direct approach from heaven to your life. It's a clear intervention. It's a sign of what's to come for you. Ignoring this moment will have consequences. If you close yourself off now, what was prepared may not return in the same form. And that's no small thing. What belongs to you took time. It took waiting. It took pain. It took loyalty when no one was watching. It wouldn't be fair for it to end up in the hands of someone who didn't go through what you went through. That's why this message is so persistent. That's why we're speaking to you with such urgency. You are not alone in this. There's an active defense on your behalf. This message is being shared so that you do not lose what is rightfully yours. Stay here. Don't close now. What follows is key to sealing this and protecting what has already been activated. But now I need you to participate too, not with long words, with your faith, with your yes, with a decision to believe that what you lost isn't gone, that it's coming back. My son, my beloved, there is something I must reveal to you clearly. This has been hidden until now. The day you were born, a record was made. Your name was written down. Your purpose was established. That record included everything that would one day be given to your life. Nothing was improvised, but that access didn't open immediately. Not because you weren't worthy, but because you were still in the process. There were things you needed to learn. There was inner strength that needed to be developed. That's why you went through trials. That's why there were losses. That's why people left. That's why doors closed. Nothing was in vain. Everything was recounted. Every tear, every wait, every silence. And now the final order has been given. The wait is over. It's time to release what was kept hidden. That's why this message reached you. That's why I'm here now. Because this moment marks a transition from process to delivery. Stay tuned. What follows explains how to hold onto what is being released and what you should do from now on. I am not here just to deliver a message. I am here as a witness. What was being held back was released. What was closed was opened. And your name was activated in that process. When that happened, it became clear that this is the point where your story begins to change. My son, my beloved, there are people who watch your life closely. They never thought you would endure. They expected you to break. They were confident you wouldn't go on. But here you are. You're still breathing. You're still believing. You're still hoping. And that was seen. That was taken into consideration. This transfer was approved because your inner self didn't harden, because you chose to maintain respect even when you were hurt. because you forgave without receiving an apology, because you kept talking to God even when it seemed like no one was responding. None of it was ignored. None of it was in vain. Your perseverance spoke for you. Your attitude was noted. And that's why this moment has arrived. Stay tuned. What follows explains how this change begins to manifest and what signs you should recognize from now on. This is not a small matter. This is real weight. This is what heaven recognizes as true value, something that cannot be bought, something that is demonstrated through actions. And that's why there's a clear movement toward your life now. It's not slow. It's not standing still. What was approved is moving forward. My son, my beloved, there is something else you must know. There is someone close to you who was never completely honest. That person saw your ability before you did. They recognized your potential before you understood it yourself. But instead of supporting you, he tried to limit you. He diverted you. He pushed you into a smaller life, not for your own good, but out of fear, for control, to avoid feeling displaced. That time is over. The influence that held you captive is weakening. The invisible bonds are breaking. Perhaps you've already noticed. People drifting away without explanation. Situations suddenly falling apart. Plans that no longer fit together. None of that is by chance. It's part of the necessary liberation for you to move forward without interference. Stay here. What follows will help you understand how to respond to these changes without going backward. Don't resist what's happening. Don't try to hold back what's coming to an end. This adjustment was necessary before anything new could enter. Nothing is surrendered if there is still unresolved betrayal. Nothing is established if the past continues to occupy space. That's why this message is coming now. Not just to confirm, also to close chapters. You're no longer tied to the past. That's over. What's coming can't enter a life that still believes it's stuck. You must accept that the new has already begun, even if you don't see it completely yet, even if you don't have all the external evidence. Open yourself up as if it's already happening, because it's already happening. My son, my beloved, I need you to understand this clearly. Conversations are happening about you. People are remembering who you are. People who previously ignored you are reconsidering. Your name is mentioned again. Your place is recognized again. This isn't happening because of your insistence. It's happening because times have changed. Stay alert. What follows explains how these reconnections will manifest and how you must respond without looking back. People who previously ignored you are reconsidering their stance. People who blocked your progress now feel the need to rectify the situation. There are people with the authority to open paths that were previously closed. And those people are being moved now. This is not imagination. This is not coincidence. Conversations are happening without you being present. Decisions are being made without you asking for them. And those decisions are related to your future. Listen carefully to this. If you dismiss this message and treat it casually, you'll cause a delay. You're not canceling what was authorized, but you are postponing it. Your answer matters. Your willingness matters. What's progressing needs confirmation from you. The question is straightforward. Are you going to say yes? Are you going to allow yourself to believe that this message is not general, but personal? My son, my beloved, you need to understand this. Your name is being mentioned again. Your worth is being reconsidered. Your place is being prepared. This is not activated passively. It is activated with a clear response. Stay here. Don't close this message. What follows is essential so that you know how to respond correctly when those doors begin to open. People are about to remember you. People who once overlooked you now feel the need to rectify that. There are people who have access. People who have the authority to open what was closed to you. That's already happening. This is not an illusion. It is not imagination. It is not exaggeration. Conversations are happening right now, in places you can't see, in spaces you haven't been yet. And those conversations are related to your future. What's being prepared surpasses what you allowed yourself to expect, not because it's unrealistic, but because your expectations were limited by the past. Listen carefully to this. If you dismiss this message as mere coincidence, you will cause a delay. What has been approved is not canceled, but its manifestation is delayed. Your response sets the pace. Your decision matters. The question is clear. Are you going to say yes? Are you going to open up completely? This is not a general message. It's not about anyone else. This is about you. Now, stay here. Don't close this message. What follows is key to knowing how to affirm this decision and keep active what has already begun. This is not about a single outcome. It's about a sequence. What was approved in your name is the beginning, not the end. Once the first thing is activated, other things that were stalled will begin to move. It's not isolated. It's connected. Once an authorization is executed, subsequent authorizations can no longer remain blocked. But there is one clear condition. Nothing progresses without reception. If the first part isn't received, the rest is put on hold. It's not canceled. It's stopped. That's why this moment is crucial. It's not entertainment. It's not just a message. It's a decision. In other words, to say clearly, I am ready. I will no longer hide. I will no longer run away. I trust in leadership more than in fear. When that happens, change begins, not just in one area, in all of them. Resources, connections, focus, well-being, stability, peace. This is not symbolic. It is functional. There's a restructuring underway, a readjustment to the original foundation, a version of your life that wasn't damaged by losses, mistakes, or interference, a clean structure, sustainable, with purpose. And there's something else you should know. Someone in your family line spoke of you a long time ago. They didn't know you, but they asked that you come here. You may never have known his name, but his spirit was present when the register was opened. I saw tears, not tears of sadness, tears of fulfillment. They knew it would be you. They knew your hands would receive what they could not see manifested. What's coming now didn't start with you, but it does end with you. That's why the burden was intense. That's why the process was long. You weren't just fighting for your story. They were family cycles, old patterns, unresolved spiritual debts. And now, just as the struggle was inherited, so is the blessing. This isn't being released just for your personal benefit. What you receive extends beyond you. You break down barriers. Your reception liberates others. Your stance rewrites the history that came before. The transfer has scope, it has purpose, and it has continuity. This is not charity. It is divine recompense. It's the payment for nights when no one saw you resist, for right decisions that went unapplauded, for remaining true to yourself when it would have been easier to give up. Heaven does not confuse faithfulness with weakness. Heaven does not ignore what was sown in silence. That's why this transfer is not fragile. It's not temporary. It's not experimental. It's sealed. It cannot be touched by envy. It cannot be reversed by human opinion. It cannot be interrupted by the past, because it wasn't approved by people. It was signed by God. And now listen to this clearly, my beloved, when this blessing manifests. It will not only change your life, it will change how others believe God responds. Your testimony will ignite faith where there was doubt. Your restoration will be proof where there was mockery. Your peace will be evidence where there was chaos. This is inheritance fulfilled. This is spiritual justice. This is a closing of an ancient cycle and the opening of an eternal one. And it all started because you chose not to close your heart in this moment. Something heavy, something invisible, something that slowed your steps, clouded your joy, and disrupted your rhythms. It was allowed for a time, but it was never permanent. And now it is being lifted. Perhaps you won't see it with your eyes yet, but you'll feel it in your breath. A lightness, a clarity, a quiet confidence returning to places that were once exhausted. This is mercy in the form of correction. Heaven realigning what was misaligned. Heaven removing what is no longer allowed to follow you. My son, my beloved, listen carefully. What is coming does not come through struggle. It comes through surrender. You are no longer called to pursue what has already been assigned to you. You no longer have to prove what God has already declared about you. The season of constant effort is coming to an end. That's why peace comes before provision. That's why rest comes before you see the results. Because heaven always confirms things first in the spirit before manifesting them in the visible. And now I tell you gently, but firmly, Do not return to old thoughts after this moment. Do not repeat yesterday's fears. Do not question what has already been sealed. What was delayed has been released. What was blocked has been cleared. What was diverted is being redirected towards you with added reward. Remain open. Remain receptive. Remain still enough to recognize the call when it comes unexpectedly, because it won't come as scarcity. It won't sound like struggle. It will come as an opportunity wrapped in peace. And when it comes, you will know, not because someone convinces you, but because your spirit will say, this is it. A delay, a closed door, a silence that hurt. That's what's being removed now. And instead, you're receiving direct deliverance from God, a real change, something that will happen so fast you'll wonder how everything turned in your favor in such a short time. You won't have to explain it, and you won't need to, because this blessing doesn't come through effort. It doesn't come through struggle. It doesn't come through persistence. Please come. Come by a transfer from heaven that has already been approved, already sealed, already prepared just for you. My son, my beloved, I'm seeing angels carrying something heavy. It's not symbolic. It's real. It's a record from heaven where your name is written, not with human letters, but as heaven writes. And next to your name, there's a seal that wasn't there before. That seal appeared this week. That seal means only one thing: liberation now. It doesn't mean maybe. It doesn't mean wait. It doesn't mean later. It means now. It doesn't mean pending. It means now, right now. And listen to this carefully, my son. When heaven says now, there's no power on earth or under it that can stop what has already been released. There's only one person who can pause this moment, and that's you. If you close your heart, if you walk in fear, if you say, this can't be for me, that doubt, that hesitation, that inner rejection makes the angels stop, not because they want to, but because heaven respects your decision. But if you dare to believe, if, even in a low voice, you say, this is for me, then what was stopped accelerates. This is how the spiritual law of reception works. Heaven is waiting for your answer. My son, my beloved, have you noticed anything strange lately? Repeating numbers, dreams that feel different, waking up at unusual hours for no apparent reason. That's not a coincidence. It's not stress. It is the spiritual world calling your attention, because something great has already moved in the heavens concerning your life. And when that change happens in the heavens, the earth responds. You'll start to see things move in your favor so quickly that others will think you have help from very high levels. And they'll be right, because this is not your doing. It is God's doing. This is a result of decisions already made, of orders already signed in the courts of heaven. There is an authorization, and you are the recipient, but you have to claim it. You have to acknowledge that this message reached you because it was written for you. My son, my beloved, have you noticed any strange signs lately? Repeating numbers, messages appearing in dreams, waking up at unusual hours for no clear reason. That's not a coincidence. It's not stress. It's the spiritual world trying to get your attention, because something very big has already moved in the heavens regarding your life. And when that change happens in the heavens, the earth follows. You're about to see things move in your favor so quickly that others will think you had help from the highest levels. And they'll be right, because this is not your doing. It is God's doing. This is a result of orders already signed, of decisions already sealed in the courts of heaven. There's an active order, and you are the recipient, but you have to claim it. You have to acknowledge that this message reached you because it was written for you. My son, my beloved, I need you to understand this clearly. This move isn't about who you were. It's about who you're becoming. And that's the version of you that heaven sees now. You may still see yourself as someone who wasted time, who made mistakes, who let opportunities pass you by. But that's not what I see when I look at you today. I see authority being born from all that you have endured. I see strength where there was once pain. I see someone who is now prepared to receive divine justice. And that's what this transfer is really about. Justice. It is a return of what was unjustly taken. It is a return of what was withheld. It is the recognition you never received, now delivered in full. But this isn't just going to affect you. It's going to affect everyone connected to you. People around you will advance simply because you said yes. That's how heaven works. When the chosen one awakens, what they receive also reaches those close to them. You are entering a stage where others will see the change in your life. My son, my beloved, this is the moment when fear has to leave. Fear cannot remain where faith has already been activated. I see your inner struggle. I see the old thoughts, the doubts, the memories of every time something slipped away just when you were about to grasp it. But listen to me carefully now. This time it's different. This transfer is sealed by divine decree. It cannot be intercepted. It cannot be stolen. The only variable is your belief. Are you going to make space within yourself for something of this magnitude? Are you going to stop waiting for something to go wrong and start preparing to receive more than you know? That is the change that must happen in you today. Because if your spirit says yes, heaven won't wait any longer. Deliverance is activated immediately, and its effects will reach every area of your life. My son, my beloved, I'm being shown a vision right now, a place filled with golden light. And at the center of that place, there is an active gathering. They are not people of this world. They are spiritual authorities with delegated power. They are saying your name clearly, and each one has placed something assigned to you: opportunities, resources, restoration, people you don't yet know who will soon be key on your path. This is not imagination. This is how the spiritual world works. When someone is called to a divine inheritance, that space shifts from being silent to being in motion. Now it is active. Now it is prepared. And there's only one thing missing: that you come with faith, not physically, spiritually, that you agree, that you walk with the certainty of someone whose name has already been recognized at high levels. My son, my beloved, there's something else I need to tell you. Someone close to you has already felt this change. Even if they don't understand it, they may be acting strangely, distant, jealous, in silence. That's no coincidence. It is a spiritual reaction. Your progress is making those who preferred you when you were a little uncomfortable. But don't back down just to make others feel comfortable. Don't delay your miracle for the sake of others. God is asking you for obedience. No one's permission. Let them watch. Let them wonder. But don't let them make you miss out on what's already coming your way. This blessing is not something you have to defend. It will speak for itself. The change will be obvious, and those who left will feel the weight of what they decided to leave behind. My son, my beloved, listen to this carefully. Don't ignore this message. Don't close it prematurely. Don't treat it like common words, because this is a spiritual moment where your previous life ends and a new stage begins. If you stop for a moment, you'll feel it, the inner change, the different kind of calm, the spiritual presence all around you. The sky doesn't shout. It speaks clearly and firmly. And right now, that call is enough to bring about real change. This is not exaggeration. This is not empty emotion. This is a direct invitation to move forward. My son, my beloved, the records of the heavens don't operate on time the way your world does. What you think you lost years, months, or even days ago hasn't disappeared. It was stored. It was protected. It was preserved. And now, under divine command, it is being returned to your life in a way greater than you ever imagined. I must tell you a truth that many never hear. When divine timing is activated, lost time is not recovered slowly. It is recovered immediately. That means what used to take years will now take days. What seemed to require decades can manifest itself in a short time, but only when heaven knows you're ready. And today you are. That's why this transfer was approved. That's why I'm speaking now. Because heaven has already agreed about your life. No more delays. No more shortages. No more uncertainty. My son, my beloved, I saw something in the spiritual realm that even stopped angels with great authority. It was a revelation of your original spiritual design. That design was marked by disappointments, betrayals, and experiences that tried to extinguish what was inside you, but it was never destroyed. You are not an ordinary person. You never have been. That discomfort you felt for years wasn't weakness. It was a sign that you didn't fit in because you were meant for something greater. It was an internal pressure, a spiritual burden felt only by those born with a purpose that others cannot understand. But now that purpose is awakening. That's why everything around you feels more intense. Because the spiritual realm is preparing your environment to receive what has already been authorized. And with this move will come clarity, recognition, progress, restoration. The version of you almost forgot is about to resurface, and it won't be silent. It will be visible. It will be obvious. My son, my beloved, I saw something in the spiritual realm that stopped even the most experienced angels in their tracks. It was a revelation of your original spiritual blueprint. That design was plagued by disappointments and betrayals, but it was never scrapped. You are not an ordinary person. You never were. You were never an ordinary person. That discomfort you felt in life wasn't weakness. It was a spiritual pressure. It's felt by those born with a mission the world doesn't know how to handle. But now that mission is awakening. That's why everything around you is intensifying. Because the spiritual realm is preparing your environment to receive what has already been authorized. And with this move will come clarity, recognition, progress, restoration. The version of you almost forgot is about to reappear. And it won't be silent. It will be visible. It will be obvious to others. My son, my beloved, there's a voice that's been trying to speak over your life for far too long. A voice that told you were late, that you'd been forgotten, that no one saw you, that you were too damaged to receive a blessing. That voice didn't come from heaven. That voice was sent to distract you from what belongs to you. And today it ends. From this moment on, that influence is silenced. Let me be clear. You're not late. You're not behind schedule. You're on time. The blessing that was assigned to your name has been reserved for you, and now it is being delivered. No one else can receive what was written with your name on it. The only question that remains is this: will you receive it now, or will you let fear stop you? My son, my beloved, you are about to become the answer to prayers you didn't even know others were praying. There are people whose liberation depends on your progress. Your actions trigger change in others. That's why your life is moving forward. You were never meant to remain hidden forever. You are being prepared. And this divine transfer will not only lift you up, it will open paths for others around you. Don't take this lightly. You carry something that has eternal weight. That's why your story hurts so much. It wasn't by chance. Because when healthcare arrives, the result won't be small. It will be visible. It will be clear. And it will bring about real changes in your environment. And the honor will not go to people. It will go to God. Because only He can order such a change. So clear, so complete, so impossible to deny. My son, my beloved, right now, I'm being shown a specific piece of information, a number, a moment, a date. It's not for everyone. It's for you. Listen carefully, because within the next 72 hours, you will begin to receive signs, clear signs, repeated signs, impossible to ignore. These signs will confirm that this message is real. These signs can come in different ways, through numbers, through dreams, through conversations that seem casual, but that awaken something within you. Don't ignore them. They are confirmations. And with each confirmation, what was assigned to your name gets closer. But I must warn you about something. The enemy will try to sow fear in your thoughts. He will try to use doubt. Don't give him space. Don't listen to him. Walk with confidence, even if you can't see everything clearly yet. That's what connects this moment with the outcome you're hoping for. Faith is the only thing that is asked of you, nothing more. My son, my beloved, divine provision does not operate like the systems of this world. It is not driven by scarcity. It is not driven by debt. It moves by total sufficiency. And right now your name is active in the spiritual records. What was assigned to you, I cannot express in human terms. But listen to this clearly. It is enough, and more than enough, not just to meet your needs, also to reach others. This blessing is not just provision. It is placement. It is access. It is advancement. It will take you to places you weren't considered before. It will put you in conversations where others will wonder how you got there. And the answer will be simple. You were being prepared. You weren't being rejected. You weren't behind. The sky decided the moment. And now that moment has arrived. My son, my beloved, there will be people who question what is happening in your life. They're going to try to understand how it happened. Some will say you don't deserve it, that you're not qualified, that you skipped steps. Don't answer them. Don't explain yourself to people who never prayed for you. Let your life speak. Let your progress speak. Let God's presence over this transition be the only answer. Because when heaven acts, no one can deny it. When angels intervene, even the hardest hearts fall silent. That's what's coming. A moment so clear and so real that all you can do is acknowledge it with gratitude. My son, my beloved, you are entering a stage of profound change. You are no longer who you were, and not everyone can see who you are becoming yet. This is a delicate moment in your spiritual process. Don't rush it. Don't speak out against this. Let the process finish. Because when this divine transfer enters your life, the silence will be broken. The emptiness will be filled. And what seemed like mere waiting, you will suddenly understand was protection. You'll see it clearly. Everything will make sense. But for now, rest in the certainty. Heaven has spoken. Your name has been approved. And nothing can stop what is already on its way to you. My son, my beloved, now I am instructed to speak to a very quiet place inside you, a place you rarely enter, the place where hope feels fragile, the part of your soul where you hid your most sacred dreams. Because too often they were met with silence, with delay, or with a kind of pain that leaves no visible marks, but makes the heart tremble. But let me say something to that place right now. I'm not just talking to your conscious mind. I'm talking to the parts of you that were never fully believed. To that part of you that once looked at the stars and asked, will it ever happen for me too? And the answer from heaven comes now. Yes. Yes, beloved. Yes, it will happen. And it is already on its way. The divine transfer that has just been approved is not only financial. It is emotional. It is spiritual. It is redemptive. It is touching every part of your existence that once felt forgotten and making it sing again. My son, my beloved, now I am instructed once again to speak to a very quiet place inside you, a place that even you don't often enter, the place where hope feels fragile, the part of your soul where you hid your most sacred dreams, because too often they were met with silence, with delay, or with a kind of pain that leaves no visible wounds, but makes the heart tremble. But let me say something to that place right now. I'm not just talking to your conscious mind. I'm talking to the parts of you that were never fully believed. To that part that looked at the stars and whispered, will it really happen for me? And the answer from heaven comes now. Yes, yes, my beloved, it will happen, and it is already on its way. The divine transfer that has just been approved is not only financial, it is emotional, it is spiritual, it is redemptive. It is touching every part of your existence that once felt forgotten and making it sing again. My son, my beloved, your life is about to surprise the very people who once whispered, he will never make it, not out of revenge, but as divine evidence. Because heaven isn't about proving others wrong. It's about proving God's faithfulness. And your story is about to become that proof. They will see the change in you. They will feel the radiance around you. They will notice how things begin to align for you, how doors open even before you knock. And when they ask how it happened, you won't say you manipulated anything. You won't say you worked tirelessly. You'll simply say, heaven remembered me, because that's how it was. And no earthly timeline, no past mistake, no loss, no delay, no betrayal can block what has already been sealed in your favor. My son, my beloved, I am seeing a light descending. It floats golden, steady, gentle, and safe. That light is now resting upon your home. This is not poetry. It is spiritual reality, for visitation is scheduled. Yes, beloved, you are about to receive encounters. In dreams, in signs, in conversations where someone will say something and you will feel chills, because your spirit will recognize that it is heaven speaking through human lips. Don't rule out those moments. These are confirmations. I will be moving through them. That's why you're feeling a shift even as you read this. That's why your heart is beating faster. That's why your skin may feel electric. That's why your environment suddenly feels lighter. The presence of God is near, and the closer it draws, the more your soul begins to remember what it always knew, that you are not ordinary. You are chosen, a vessel of divine purpose. And this blessing that is coming is not luck. It is a return of what was written on the surface of your first breath. My child, my beloved, the angels assigned to your life have not been inactive. They've been fighting battles you could not see, opening paths that were tangled by opposition, removing people and circumstances that had the power to delay you indefinitely. And now that the path is open, they are bringing what they have held with trembling hands, a package of divine compensation. Within that package are things no bank can issue: favor, peace, restoration, clarity, protection, joy, health, provision, and revelation. And this delivery comes with a condition. Do not give it up out of unbelief. The moment you say, maybe it's not for me, you begin to close the door to the miracle. So speak differently now. Speak like someone who knows heaven has their back. Move like someone who expects goodness to pursue them. Act as if the divine transfer is already in your account, because in spirit it already is. My child, my beloved, someone will try to re-enter your life the moment this miracle becomes visible. Their timing will feel suspicious, and rightly so. They don't return because they missed you. They return because they can sense the spiritual fire beginning to rise around your destiny. They can't name it, but they feel it. They'll call it a sensation. But it's really the trembling of the atmosphere around them, making visible what was previously hidden. Don't let old voices enter this new season. God removed them for a reason. This miracle is not a spectacle. It is a prophecy. And those who didn't respect your silence don't deserve a place at your celebration. Be wise. Be firm. You don't need to explain what God is doing. The evidence will speak for itself. Just protect the atmosphere long enough for the full miracle to manifest. My son, my beloved, now I am going to reveal to you something that many never hear. There's a moment, a single moment in the life of a chosen soul, in which heaven releases at once the answer to many prayers that seem to have gone unheard. That moment is now. This isn't just about what you asked for recently. It's about what you asked for 5 years ago and stopped hoping for. About what you whispered in a hospital room. About what you cried silently through at night when you no longer had the strength to speak. Everything was gathered. Everything was stored. Everything was weighed with divine justice. And now it is being poured out upon your life, not as a wish, but as a fulfillment. You must be willing to hold on to what you thought you had lost. You must be willing to receive what once seemed impossible. Because on this plane, in this present spiritual moment, nothing is lost. Nothing is too far away. My son, my beloved, I have been given permission to tell you this. If you remain open in the coming days, the transfer will begin in ways you do not expect. It can arrive as a message, as an opportunity, as a call, or even as a moment of stillness where a deep peace envelopes you so strongly that it makes you cry. That's not random. That's liberation. That is the exact point where the miracle begins to pierce the spiritual veil and touch your physical world. You'll recognize it by how your heart remains calm amidst the chaos, by how people who don't know you begin to favor you for no clear reason, by how resistance crumbles effortlessly. When that starts to happen, thank God immediately. That means a file with your name on it has already reached the edge of the earth. And when he gets there, nothing can stop him. My child, everything was leading up to this point. If this message spoke to your heart, don't leave without subscribing. The angels want to continue guiding you. Here you will always hear what you need at the right time. Stay close. You are not alone. This is your space. So don't just leave. Stand up, live. Reclaim what has always been yours. Los Angeles is with you, and your soul is finally awake.